Let me just stop that. Okay. Doing another reaction. Came up in my email this morning. It's Battlefield 2042 official reveal trailer featuring 2WEI. I don't know what that means. About Battlefield 42, was it 1942? Played that game. Got into that game a little bit late, not straight away. Played a lot of that. Played a lot of Desert Combat, which was the mod for it, sort of the Iraq-Afghanistan era sort of mod. That was really good. And played tons of Battlefield 2. Heaps and heaps and heaps of Battlefield 2. Really liked that. In particular because it had this commander mode where you could, one person on each team could be a commander and they get a bird's eye view of the battlefield. And they could drop bombs and spot enemies and tell squads where to go and, you know, communicate with the squad leaders or individual players and just sort of control the map, sort of a bit like a Command and Conquer style, RTS almost. And that was really good, so long as people wanted to play along with it. But the game by then was starting to devolve into, you know, lone wolfing, people just sitting around on the hillside sniping and not doing anything to progress the game. Squad hopping non-stop. No one wants to be in a squad. They just want to use you to get into the battlefield. They just want to use the vehicles to get to their sniper spot. You know, they want to cap a position, but they don't want to stay there and hold it. They just want to keep running and runs. The game was, it sort of developed this kind of, I used to call it spawn, run, die, spawn, run, die, spawn, run, die. That's the game, spawn, run, die. And so I really started to dislike it by the time Battlefield 3 came around. I did buy 3, and I bought Bad Company, and that one in particular I didn't like. But there was another one in between, Battlefield 2142, I think it was. That was sort of a futuristic version of Battlefield where you'd end up trying to get these big ships in the sky. I think there was a certain point in the game where you could get in these capsules and go shooting up or something. And they played a lot of that, and that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was pretty cool. But after 3, I just didn't like it at all. The gameplay was just no fun. But it, as I say, a different type of player developed. That type of player who likes that. And the game started to go all nuts like that. And 4 was the same thing again. They took all the bad stuff in Battlefield 2 and made it worse and more of that in Battlefield 3. And I know there's people who are going to love those games and whatever, you know. To each their own, you know. I like to play my way, you like to play your way, that's fine. Got no problem with that. But this is about my way of playing. That's what I'm talking about. So in Battlefield 3, they took the worst stuff of 2, made it even more, and then they got rid of the good stuff, like the commander and all that, I think it was. And they kept that. The 4 and 5 were just the same again, more and more. And that one, I think they called it BF1, same again, just more and more. You know, different scenarios and so on, but the same thing. It's the exact same game. Except everyone's got pocket parachutes and all that crap. Anyhow, I don't know what this one's going to be about, Battlefield 2042. It's future. Super soldiers. Are they going to be hurling insults at each other? Is that what they're going to do? Or on electric bikes, eating bugs? Probably, something like that. Chucking snowflakes at each other. I don't know what it's going to be. Super soldiers. CCP super soldiers, maybe. Let's have a look. I've not seen this. I know nothing about the game. Haven't seen any previews. Nothing. Let's get on with it. Been going on for 5 minutes now, but that's what this is about. Okay, here we go. That's exaggerated. See how exaggerated this is what they do in games with landscapes, because the real landscape outside, when you go around the mountains and so on, it's not as exaggerated as it is in games. It's really quite flat. There's not hills and things are there. They're not as exaggerated as they are in your head quite often. And so with games they often do this. So hills and things are height exaggerated. So this is game engine footage. I mean, it looks great, obviously. So what's this going to do? It's going to hit that. And here come all the pocket parachutes. Of course, pocket gliders. Oh, now here. Now that looks nice and big. You know, I'm always wanting to play in cities, big cities with buildings that you can go in all the way up top to bottom and everything. And I want them to just be dead blocks. You know, like in GTA, the settings are just dead blocks. Even though you can land a chopper on top, that's sort of it. That's all you can do. But that's a big city. I mean, I guess we can assume the game area is probably just something in the middle here. I don't know if it'd go all the way back there to those, or if that's just decoration. Certainly back there. Can't possibly be in the game, but let's find out. Let's see. This is 24. Of course, drones and robots and robot dogs. Tanks. So is this like an old... Is this an old container ship or something? No, they're pulling apart. Well, the movement looks great. I have to say, the movement of the people looks great. Yeah, just noticed that. Really good. Well, hang on. Is that going to happen? Because clearly the game has to do that. You can't sit there and, you know, move your hand and then look around the corner and say, look back at the other guy and go, hey, get over this way. So the game is going to have to do that. But is it going to do that? Or was that some kind of transition? Or was that just for the video? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, lighting looks great. Really good. And this footage here where you're up against his shoulder, why are you there? Is that that player, or is this the person behind that player? Maybe it's... I mean, it's a first-person game. Does it have over the shoulder third person? I don't know. Let me know. Okay, very good. Very good, very good. Oh, you're all so dead. You're dead. You. Hovercraft. Was that an ice tank? What's with the 80s metal music? Okay, obviously you probably have to do something like to stop the rocket or... I always hated the choppers going down the streets. It's such a ridiculous concept. It's just ridiculous. Okay, that looks like it's probably in the game like that. Why would you have a quad bike on the roof of a high-rise like that? So you can ride it into a chopper, of course. Oh, nice. What's that? What's that? The F-35 or something? Nice. Planes always look good in games, 3D games. Always. Oh, come on, please. Alright, Alright, that's just, come on. Oh. 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 Oh, hang on. Hang on. Wait. Wait, he'll get back in the plane. just to make this completely ridiculous, he'll get back in his plane. But maybe he'll punch the guy in the face as his head goes by or something. Let's see what happens. Oh, God. Oh, 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 oh. Keep going. Sure, keep going. I mean, is that going to be a move in the game? Is that going to be some kind of move you can trigger? It's like, here, push the controller this way and hit that button, that key, and then boom, it has you leaping out of your plane with your rocket on your back. What's a pilot doing with a rocket on his back? And then shooting, and then jumping back in his plane. How is that going to happen? Oh my God. All that kind of stuff drives me nuts. I remember back in BF3 or 4, I think it was in 3, I went because it was like this. It was just getting ridiculous. You know, choppers going down the alleyways and not hitting anything. I was like, what the hell? Planes crashing at your feet, literally at your feet, and not affecting anything. And I made a comment on the what do they call it? EA's channel somewhere about the realism. You know, I was like a bit like I'm doing now. I was going, hey, realistic. And I got trashed by all these asshats, you know, all the Just Cause kind of kids who were like, yeah. And I remember the main comment was, I made a sort of a comment about it not being, about the realism being a bit, And the person said, since when is it meant to be realistic? And I looked at that comment and I was just like, well, since day one. I didn't say it. I left the comment. I didn't even reply to it. It's probably still there. That was a long time ago. And I just left it there because it was like, look at the game. Yes, it's meant to be realistic. Look at the graphics. Look at everything that they do. The whole thing is about realism. And then it has people doing that stuff like just then. And that was my complaint. It was like, you know, can we have a game that's actually sort of realistic? Because it's not supposed to be realistic. Okay. Just remembered that. Oh, it looks good, though. The thing that I'm suspicious about is like everyone's looking different here. Everyone's looking different. They're all moving their heads. I mean, is this actual gameplay or not? It doesn't seem right because this camera work is not gameplay. You know, actual gameplay is done from a player's perspective. Clearly this is not. This is a camera's perspective. I can see obviously you can buy all these different outfits and things. What the hell is that? Oh, that's for the snipers to take from base and get to their sniping spots. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Sakes. All right. Well, if it's your cup of tea, enjoy. I would love to have a game with these graphics, you know, this detail and these graphics and all that. I'd love to have that as a realistic game with realistic physics and, you know, real stuff going on. That would be so cool. Yeah.
Battlefield 2042.
Oh, Jack, of course. The biggest battlefield shill on the planet. Anyhow, there we go. I'll just leave it there. I can't go hating on forever. Looks great for Battlefield fans. That looks more of the same, but even crazier and just like wah, wah. That's what it looks like. It's like Battlefield wah. All right, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Where do I go? Down there.